Welcome to Misala Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, bienvenidos a Misala Productions. I have some late breaking news. I'm trying to do a different style of video at the moment. I ran into an article that was brought up by a very good friend of mine, Kashim Shannon, up in the world of Xbox, which is my gaming group. Shout outs to them, by the way. And shout outs to IntroMediaGaming.com and Mr. 100 and the gang, my family over there. And all my ex-bodians like Sir Merkham, Master Chief, Tuck Master, Sega Forever, E-Rock, NWO Prime, Kenny Thomas, Iron Wolf, Kaleidoscope, Ghost Rider, Blazing Phoenix. You get the picture. Anyway, as you can see here up in the corner, I have the what you would call how we abbreviate stuff, in shorter terms. It says ROTTR for Rise of the Tomb Raider Shelved PS4. According to a news article that just came in, and I want to be very clear with everyone. First and foremost, this is just speculations and rumors at the moment from big people that do research and analyticals and analysts in the gaming industry that speak based on facts of the past and certain circumstances from other situations, from other games and other companies. So, I mean, it comes from a credible source so far, but again, it's just strictly rumors. I want to clarify that again. It's strictly a rumor, but I want to bring out my thoughts about it, and then maybe perhaps get your thoughts on the comments once you watch my video. In the website, Parent Herald, there's an article that says, Rise of the Tomb Raider, PS4, shelved because of possible low sales. And I'm assuming they mean low sales on Xbox One. It says, Rise of the Tomb Raider for the PS4 updates are starting to look less hopeful by the day. The highly anticipated titles that are releasing on the PlayStation Sony console has been a hot topic online for the past months, but Square Enix has yet to disclose any specifics as of writing. According to the latest report, analysts are wary of its impending release on the PlayStation 4. Okay? Its sources are right. Experts fear that Rise of the Tomb Raider for the PlayStation 4 will not make a huge impact when it is released because of the long wait fans have had to endure for the game. The timed exclusive probably cost Microsoft only $20 million or so. Webbush Security, Michael Pachter, said, as reported by Game Sutra, but you probably saw Rise of the Tomb Raider advertising throughout the whole holiday season. My guess is that Microsoft spent another $20 million advertising the game. The problem with exclusive in today's market is you have a clear market leader. A funder, a CEO of research firm DFC Intelligence, David Cole, said. So, if you are not on that platform, you lose a major market opportunity. And it will take a lot for Microsoft or another competitor to reimburse you for lost opportunities. They're trying to make it seem like it was a dumb decision, but I'll get to that in my thoughts. Fans were pretty much expecting a huge Rise of the Tomb Raider PS4 announcement at the E3 2016 recently, as it was previously reported by Chatter Sportsnet. The developer reportedly hinted that they will be announcing something about the highly anticipated launch. The gaming conference happened, but no announcement has been made, leaving fans in the dark once again. Do you think Square Enix has a different strategy when it comes to announcing Rise of the Tomb Raider for the PS4? Or will the game end up being cancelled altogether? Stay tuned for more info on Rise of the Tomb Raider PS4 updates here in the Parenthood website. Okay. Again, I'll repeat myself to make it clear, because there's a lot of people out here that misconstrue videos the same way they misconstrue misconstrued people's words. It's simply a rumor at this point. But here are my thoughts. If this is actually true and comes to be true, is it a bad thing? Yes and no. Well, yes, because it's bad for the games as a franchise, for the developers, but it's also not bad for people and companies like Square Enix, as it's rumored to be, made this deal with Xbox, and as far as we know, the deal was that this game would never even have came to fruition, or fruition rather, if Microsoft never funded the game. And it was supposed to be a big rumor that it was going to be actually episodic, to see how the game would sell based on episodes, to decide whether they make more and more episodes to make a full-fledged game throughout the years. Maybe a year or a half or so. Kind of like the Hitman syndrome and the Hitman method that they're using with the new one. See, here's the problem. It's not so much of the game being on another platform and we have Xbox games having it for a whole year. The problem is that when Street Fighter came out for the PS4, they clearly funded for the development of the game according to Capcom and the creator of Street Fighter. And they strictly said it'll come out for PC and it'll stay as a console exclusive for the PS4. Now, if that was the case, remember, everybody was okay with it. They were okay with it because they were trying to imply, well, this is good because Tomb Raider is not coming to PS4 because Microsoft snowballed or lowballed Xbox, PS4 gamers with the Xbox One having Rise of the Tomb Raider as an exclusive. Excuse me, I don't want to scare nobody with my manly hairs. Anyway, which was not the case because nobody really knows the real full details. I truly believe that the real case was that this was supposed to be exclusive for the time period, and Microsoft said, you know what, we'll allow it to come up to the, a competitive console of, our competitors, but it has to be a year later, because usually after a year, a game's been out for about a year, it almost becomes irrelevant. In the article, you see how they're trying to almost throw a low ball to Microsoft, saying that, they can't reimburse Square Enix. Maybe this will be a good lesson, so they learn their lesson. But let that be whole and let this be said. I thought that Square Enix opening their mouths, stating that the game would come out for the PlayStation 4 before it even launched on the Xbox One console, was a very dirty move and not very businesslike. So in a way, for all the fanboys, because I'm not talking about real games, I'm talking about mainly the fanboys, you kind of reap what you sow, and karma is a very, very true and bad thing. Karma's a bitch, so to speak. For all the people that didn't go out and support it on the Xbox One, if this comes out to be true and comes to fruition, because they just simply hate it on the Xbox One console and brand. So they said, I refuse to support it. Because they had the option if they wanted to go out and buy it. Just like people went out and bought Street Fighter on PlayStation 4, even though they own Xbox. There shouldn't be a double standard, but it clearly is, as we all know. Now this is a good thing as far as maybe, possibly, even though the game is not at the same value, obviously, because it's been almost 8 months, 6 months to this point, 7 maybe, that the game might get, some type of uprise in sales, and people will actually go out finally and purchase it for the Xbox One, knowing that it's no longer going to come out, to the PS4. And this should be a lesson to everyone, that for all those people that did those hate videos, and all the people that said, oh, Microsoft for slime ball, they have Uncharted 4. And for all those that say, oh, that is that Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider actually stabbed itself, sorry about that, and started on the PlayStation platform. No, you're very wrong. It only started on the PlayStation platform because it was being originally developed for the Sega Saturn, And because the Sega Saturn sales weren't doing well, Eidos at the time made a deal and brought it out for the PS1 console because it had better sales and was doing better in the market when those two consoles were released. It was actually developed and created first and originally for the Sega Saturn, which later on came out for the Saturn. Okay, as a lot of people that are from my generation should know. Same thing with Resident Evil 1. It started its development creation. It was completely done on the Sega Saturn first and then came to PlayStation 1 because of a deal that Sony did, obviously with Capcom and with Eidos, okay, at the time to snowball and mudsling on Sega because their sales were looking very bleak and bad. So, this would be kind of like, you reap what you sow to Sony if it comes to fruition. Am I wishing it? No. If it does, at least I said my piece and my thoughts and they're out there. The point is, you should never talk ahead of time and hate on something because you never know what could end up actually happening in the end. I don't see other people talking about Sony when the last Tinker, which is an indie game that came out, didn't do well on PS3, or actually the PS4, and the developer clearly said, well, I'm not going to bring it out to the XP1 because of the low install base. Just because it had a low install base didn't mean it wouldn't have sold better. Same thing with Rise of Tomb Raider. The same logic applies. Yes. The difference is Microsoft fully funded the game and we're going to publish it. And that's why at the very end, I believe they didn't publish it because you don't see them as the publishers in the credits of the game. I haven't beat it yet. I'm almost at the end. But I don't know if they show it at the end of the game. So, for those who have, probably know more than me. Anyway, this is a very interesting thing to see and see how it's going to play out. Because now, there's no more excuses. Whoever owns a PS4 has to go and buy it on the Xbox One console. Or on PC, if they choose to. The point is, it will still be an exclusive under the Microsoft umbrella. Again, I'm not stating this because I'm happy about it. I'm simply stating this because a lot of hate came about with this game. A lot of misconstrued things were turned around, twisted, and said about Microsoft and even Phil Spencer because of this game. And from what I understand, 3 of the main developers from Crystal Dynamics actually left Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. So I don't even know, or Square Enix, excuse me, for the improper pronunciation. So I don't even know if or Tomb Raider 3 will even come to be if the sales were low. But I don't think the sales were low. I think the game sold more digitally, and with the bundles on XB1, it's just that MPDs do not count that, so we can't see them. Only Microsoft can. And I believe Aaron Greenberg came out on a tweet with, shortly after Black Friday to Tim Dog and stated that it sold well over 1 million copies on the XB1 or in total, even though it was on the 360, but it didn't sell a lot on 360 according to the numbers. And it wasn't out on PC still at that time. So all those who try to damage control say, yeah, but it was out on PC. No, it wasn't. It came out 3 months later. I believe it came out 4 months later. It was actually January, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, yeah, there we go again. I disappeared. All this is becoming a magic trick. Like I said, I'm sorry. Forgive me for that. Share your comments. Let me know what you think. I think it's very interesting to see how it's going to play out. And if it is and turns out to be this way, let's see if these guys that didn't support it will actually go out now, buy it and support it and stop this dumb bias and hate towards Microsoft. But when it was Street Fighter, again, it was okay, and that was the way it would always be. Even if this didn't happen, I bet you that Street Fighter situation would have been completely acceptable. Now, they're trying to do the same ramblings with Dead Rising 4. For what I understand, it's the same scenario. Dead Rising 4 is completely being funded by Microsoft and even published. And, it might come later onto Steam because the developers said it themselves. and hopefully the sales, if they're strong enough, it'll stay as a console exclusive. But I don't think it'll make it to PS4 either, because I believe Dead Rising 2 on the PS3 sold horribly. I could be wrong, but that's from what I know and what I heard. From what I heard. Thank you for joining me again in this quick little video in Misala Productions. Like I said, hit me up with the comments and share it with other people so I can know what they think. Subscribe if you choose to. Remember, if you subscribe, you become part of my family, because I know you don't have to. Xbox for life, like a sickness that can't be cured. Thank you very much, everyone. And remember, I hope each and every one of you have a very good night. Put it well thought process about this topic and let me know what you think. I'm very curious. Shout outs to Kashim Simmons at the World of Xbox, in collaboration with IntroMediaGaming.com. Misala is closed.